Hey Scrubs, it's Retro. Today we're going to be looking at the premium Necromancer experience. Now, I know there's a lot of quote-unquote Necromancer player homes out there, and a lot of them are quite good, but they don't really scratch the itch that I have when I think about being a Necromancer overlord. Skulking around in the catacombs really doesn't tickle my nipple, so with that in mind, I wanted to show you guys this. This is my favourite Necromancer player home mod, and it's quite different to anything that I've seen out there so far. In my experience, 99% of the Necromancer homes are either caves or catacombs, and that doesn't really fit my bougie desires of being a Necromancer who likes to eat people, put body parts together, but then in the evenings he likes to enjoy a nice glass of mead or ale, kick back and relax at a nice, luxurious pad. With that in mind, I bring to you Skyramas, a Death Knight player home. Now, before we get into that, some housekeeping. I can't believe the support that the last 400 plus mod series video got, the animations video. Oh my fucking lord, it got about 6k views and 200 likes, which is amazing. Having a look at the analytics, 100% male, 100% beef. Well done boys, we've created a sausage party. That's how we're going to keep it. No girls in the cool club. It breaks my heart a little bit, but only 3.7% of people who watch that video are subscribed. So if you enjoy this mod spotlight, please leave me a like, think about subscribing, and comment down below if you would like to see how I built my Necromancer character, because it took fucking ages. Jokes, it took about 5 minutes. That being said, let's have a look at this bad boy, Skyramas. Let's read the description from the mod author. Skyramas is a floating necropolis that can be found on the far ice fields to the northwest of the College of Winterhold. This is your base, so you won't find a vast trophy or display room in here, but it has everything you need for general gameplay, crafting, and features a custom weapon rack for your rune weapons, we'll get into that later guys, and a mannequin for your armor. You'll also find a custom cooking, enchanting, and alchemy station with a custom bed. Now guys, the mod author is being very generous here. Each one of these items has its own unique room, and they are very thematic, and just real groovy, real creepy. It also houses everything else the mod has to offer, such as the new spells can all be found at Skyramas, and the spells are pretty beastly. Okay, so after you install the mod, a marker will pop up by Winterhold. You have to discover it first in order to fast travel there. However, the first thing you're going to notice, guys, about Skyramas is it's a floating fortress. So you need to fight your way to the teleporter if you have anything blocking you. I've got these right clicks from another mod. Hopefully, maybe it'll be clear for you. We'll see. So, reminiscent of the first Halo where you go to the Covenant ship, you must find the teleporter underneath Skyramas to get up to Skyramas base itself. The topmost room of Skyramas is the throne room, and this room is unforgettable. When you fast travel to Skyramas, this is the room that you'll appear in. It's dingy, dark. It's got a magnificent throne and this green floor space that just oozes, and oh, it's beautiful. Just a really sort of pestilence themed smoky green floor. Ooh baby, I love it. The throne is adorned with skulls and is flanked on both sides by greenish fire. I think these are great, and the aesthetic of sort of skulls, body parts, and the green miasma, you'll find that a lot throughout this mod. The first room I discovered upon entering Skyramas after the throne room was, I would be hesitant to call it a kitchen. There is a bubbling bloody cauldron that is gigantic, and to the right of that there is all manners of meats and blood. That is flanked on the left by an actual altar of blood that you can pray and receive bonuses, and on the right by a woman strapped down to a bed. She's cattle for if you're a vampire, you can use her to feed. Very evil, very thematic. There's also some sweet rolls behind you because, like I said, I'm a bad guy, but I've got a sweet tooth. This room has everything you need for cooking, so if you're running mods such as I need, and your Necromancer needs a bit of a chomp because he's not quite undead yet, this mod is perfect for you, so it would pair quite nicely with something like Undeath before you become a lick, or a lich. And obviously, the cattle strapped down and the blood altar would be very thematic for a vampire character. Hint hint at my next character playthrough. Moving on is your Necromancer's study, and the companion from this mod can be found here. Some of you may recognize this character from another game. He's been Skyrimified. Rim should never be a verb. Okay, it is Rotmeat, the Death Hound, your loyal companion, and he doesn't bark, guys. It's beautiful, it's magical. So in this study, the first thing that stood out to me were the vats. The vats of snapped in bodies that were bubbling away in this green stuff. Oh man, it looks amazing. Roleplay wise, I imagine the Necromancer uses these to experiment on dead body parts, see if he can reanimate them in different ways, make them stronger. There are piles of books in this room, there are papers all over the floor, there are floating scripture, and there's a mannequin in this room. There are storage units everywhere, and there are also plenty of spells for you to learn in this room. We'll cover spells later on in the video, but for now, I'd recommend grabbing them all up as they are very, very powerful necromantic spells. Overall, this is a great room. The centerpiece of the room, besides the desk, is obviously the cauldron that is chained to the floor. It has this green miasma coming out of it, floating books going around it like it's Harry feckin' Potter, and inside there's a skull bubbling away. It's beautiful and it's eerie. Overall, this is a great room, and it was a great first impression for me, besides the throne room. Next up, guys, is the bedroom. Yeah, the bed in this is menacing as hell. It sits atop metal stand, which looks like claws gripping onto the bed, and you can just make out bits of that sort of toxic necromantic green energy underneath it. It is gorgeous and very evil. Good guys don't sleep in this bed. This room's kitted out really nicely, with all the storage containers you could want, as well as a secret room through a flap that leads you into a bathing room, which is where I imagine your necromancer would keep all his honeys. I can definitely see me bringing Lucian here. It's very seductive, very beautiful, and it's got skulls everywhere as well. Through here there's one further hidden room, and it is coffin for sleeping in. Overall, a great room to kick back in. Yeah, just let out your necromancer's softer side, you know? Put the moves on somebody. Maybe get married and use the Any Home spell mod to bring people here. You know, you want to set up a beautiful family with Lydia or Lucian. Bring them here. This is a great home for any spouse, as long as they don't mind the skulls. Now guys, at the bottom of the stairs there's a frozen door. Going through this will take you into a very big chamber. This place is, I keep saying eerie, this place is freaky as hell. It's icy, it's got these blue flames everywhere, which are indicative of power. There are skulls all over the sides. The chamber itself is massive, and inside the chamber there are giant skulls with crystals floating around inside them, as well as wardrobes on each side of the room, and store all your groovy necromantic outfits. Venturing outside, the first thing you're going to notice is the Bone Dragon Guardians and all the undead that hover nearby. Now, I have heavily modded my game, so my undead are in a battle with the Reiklings that I have on the island also. However, unless you have lots of creature mods, this should be undead central. I love the look of Skyramas from the exterior, as the floating, basically the floating pyramids, the floating dark pyramids are so just dread inspiring. They look they look so evil. Yeah, aesthetically the author's done such a great job. These look amazing. At the end of this hillside you'll find the teleporter. There are lots of other buildings as well, all made up of stone, bone, metal, usually topped with a crystal or some other mechanism. These looked absolutely beautiful. You'll also notice the chains as well. The chain to a magic thing, a magic MacGuffin. It just, honestly, it looks beautiful. Now, upon entering this room, or this building, I should say, the first thing you'll notice is the piles of bones on the floor. The undead mill around here like it's a zombie farm, and that's because, ladies and gents, it is. You notice the giant barrel of green miasma, the piles of bones, and then if you look above the cauldrons, you'll notice the undead chained up, ready for necromantic experiments. I absolutely love this room. It doesn't really have a gameplay purpose other than containing a spell, but the length, or the amount of work that the mod authors put into this, and the detail to increase the immersion of a necromancer player is just phenomenal, so thank you very much. The final stop on our tour before we discuss magic, the Temple of the Damned. Now, it's kitted out with an altar and seats, however it's housed entirely by necromancers, surrounded by towers of books, worshipping burning green skulls. Now in my game, the characters all had the black face bug. However, I recruit them with another mod, and I would simply give each one of them an undead amulet to turn them undead like my main character, as I would prefer that over having an army of Imperials or Elves anyway. I prefer my Necromancers all undead, proper goon squad. I loved this little room, this little temple room. It was nice to have a Necromancer presence on the island that wasn't just myself. This building also houses the big kicking ass spells, such as Raise Dead, Summon Death Charger, which is a custom mount. The skulls, green burning skulls, oh baby, it looks beautiful. And it really does give that impression of emanating power, especially when you have these mages stood around them worshipping them. Overall, this was a great room for me. I can see myself drafting a lot of these guys into my ranks. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the magic. As you'd expect, there's a nice selection of conjuring magic to be found. The conjuring spells are pretty awesome. There is a power that summons a small legion of undead from Skyramas to fight for you. And these guys are awesome. They spawn together as a unit and they just start swinging. They're class. Now on top of that, there's also a really I absolutely love this one. Summon Abomination, and this thing is the ugliest thing you have ever seen. It looks like a fish fucked the Hulk. As you can see here, I've assaulted the College of Winterhold, and then I'll assault Windhelm itself. These guys are groovy and very thematic, and as I said earlier, you can also summon the Death Charger, which is a custom steed, an undead horse of sorts that you can ride, as well as new bound weapons, which are called rune weapons, and they're basically weapons that will fight for you without needing to be wielded by anything. I love that, and that is such a groovy little addition to this mod. Further to this, the mod also adds in a couple of new items, such as this sword, which is beautiful. Overall, I'm very impressed with this mod, and this is a must-have for me for any sort of evil slash undead character. My next proper character after Valdar the Nord will be, plug the Let's Play, click in the top right to check that out. But my next character is going to be a fallen orc paladin that becomes a vampire lord and is basically trying to muscle in on Skyrim and take it from the Volokar vampires. So having this base of operations is going to be pivotal to that character. I love this mod, and as an undead evil player home, I think it's great. It's great not to be stuck in the caves of the catacombs, and it's quite a luxurious pad for an undead overlord. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Are you going to be shacking out with your loved one in this place, maybe adopting some kids and taking them there? It's a great place to raise a family, I hear. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider leaving me a like and subscribing. I'm nearly at 325. And I can't wait to get to 500. That's my next big milestone. So yeah, consider subscribing, leave a like, and comment. Let me know if you're going to take your loved ones to this Skyramas Death Fortress. Peace.